Hi everyone. So this is going to be a two-part series on how to create modules aligned to the CFR and how to create lessons aligned to the CFR. So first thing is this training is for people who understand what the CEFR is already. It's not here to teach someone from scratch. So here I have put in all of the links and all of the training we have done with CHED, the NRG CCS, to give an orientation of what the CFR is, how to design curriculum, how to design learning path, how to move forward as an institution, and other useful links. So if you don't understand the CFR, it's better to not watch this video and actually just pause it and come back to this and do these ones first that I've listed. So we will do a quick refresher. The CFR has been written just with two main goals in mind. Number one, to encourage practitioners of all kinds really to reflect on what people can do or cannot do in situations. And second is make it easier for people to explain to each other what different levels mean. So for the longest time, the issue has been with words that like beginner, advanced, intermediate, and in other countries they call it breakthrough, waypoint, early stage. So what those words mean were very confusing, especially where the CFR started. It started actually in Europe, but now it's used in South America and Asia and all around the world. It was confusing because they had so many languages, so it was difficult. So they just came up with a unified scale called the CFR, where A1 is what you call beginner, A2 is upper beginner, B1 is intermediate, B2 is upper intermediate, and C1 is proficient. And here is what we call the general scale. Now there are other scales, but those are in the videos that were discussed. So this is just the one pager. It's called the general scale. Okay, so this is the general CFR table. I'm gonna play this video, understanding CFR, and yeah, I'm just gonna add this in. Okay, so here there's a video called Understanding the CFR. I'm gonna cut this video and then just let it play so you can see it, and then we'll
As a language learner or teacher, you may have heard of Common European Framework of Reference, or CEFR. But what is it, and why does it matter for English language learners? It's actually pretty simple. Different learners have different levels of language ability, but opinions about your English level can be subjective. Your friends may think your English is good, but an employer might think it is not good enough, and you may be better at some skills than others. For example, you may be able to read better than you can speak. We need a clear, objective way to describe language skills that everyone can agree on. This is what the CEFR provides. The CEFR breaks down language learning into 6 levels, which it calls A1 to C2. The starting point, A1, describes a very basic language level. As a learner, you can move up the levels until you reach proficiency, C2 level. This is a really advanced level. By describing what you can do in reading, writing, speaking and listening, the CEFR will tell you where you are on the journey from beginner, A1, through to proficiency, C2. There are many Cambridge English exams available for different ages and stages of learning, all matched to CEFR levels, from young learners through to university and the workplace, or simply for travel. The CEFR was developed by the Council of Europe with extensive support from University of Cambridge ESOL examinations. People from all over the world use the CEFR to explain what level of English they are at and what level of English they need. It is used by learners, teachers, universities, governments and employers. The CEFR has been very influential, and not only in Europe. It's been published in more than 35 languages, and descriptions of individual languages.
We'll come back to this in a bit. Okay. So after the general scale, anyway, if you remember from the previous training, so there's the most general scale, and then it goes to something more detailed called the self-assessment grid. Then more details, the descriptors. So these things apply to all languages. After that, each language has to do their own version of what we call reference level descriptors. So reference level descriptors aren't meant to be shared in different languages. They're meant to be for a particular language. So for English, it was developed by E equals and the British government, and it's called the Core Inventory for General English, and they spent a lot of time on this, creating this, and that is the resource level descriptor for English. So they created one specific for English, and there's one for Spanish created by the Spanish government. Because Spanish is different to English, it has more tenses, like subjunctive tense, which doesn't exist in English, and Tagalog has a lot, way fewer tenses than the European languages do. So, when it's on a per language basis, people have created, or per language has created, what we call reference level descriptors. So the important things to note are the core inventory for general English and reference level descriptors. Okay, so what do these specifics mean? So the official resource level descriptor for us is this at this website called englishprofile.org, and it tells us what are the different words. So what are the different words? So for example, the word although is on the level B1. You can't read it, it's pretty small, but when you go through it, it's pretty much a word list. It tells you what level is the word and what is the word and what is the CFR level. So that is the resource level descriptor. Okay, so what you'll need for this workshop is to download the E equals core inventory for English, because that is another part of the resource level descriptors that you will need to write modules aligned to the CFR. So I put the download link here. And after that, I'm going to put a QR code for you to download. So here is the QR code. I'm going to stay here for 5-10 seconds, so you can just click the link. And then you can scan it and then you'll have access. Okay. Okay, so if you turn to the E equals page, and this is the project result, it's just to really make things simple for you. So basically it divides all the A1 skills together, all the A2 skills are together, all the B1 skills are together, all the B2 skills are together, and it's grouped by functions here, grammar, discourse markers, vocab, and topics. So you'll need this table to design your CFR aligned curriculum. Okay, so if someone is a complete beginner, what do I have to teach them? So I have to teach them all of these functions and then all of these grammar pieces, etc. So this is not a prescriptive document. This is just a recommendation of what skills to teach in the English language to meet the goals of the CFR done by an expert group. So it's not like so generally people use this document, but if people have other ways or other versions, that's also fine as long as they meet the can-do statements of the CFR. But for our case, let's just use this because it's already done for us and we don't have to do all that work in creating this. Okay, so here would be the next set, the discourse markers of the A1 skills, but because the vocab is food and drink, nationality, countries, personal information, family life, etc. Okay, so how do I use this? If I am creating a course for complete beginners and I want them to reach A1 at the end of the course, then I will teach them all the A1 skills. So this is for complete beginners moving to A1. I will teach them all the A1 skills. If I'm creating a course for B1 learners moving to B2, then I will have to teach them all the B2 skills. So let's do that again. If for complete beginners and I want them to be A1 at the end of the course, teach them all the A1 skills. If they are B1 learners and I want them to be B2 at the end of the course, then I will teach them all the B2 skills. Okay, and just for a little bit of a comparison, there are roughly 40 skills per CFR level. So A1 has 37, A2 has 42-ish. Okay, so what have we discussed so far in previous meetings? Well, we discussed that generally this is what we will have. So per school, for example, CEU said they will have 3 courses. So this can be English 1 or Intermediate English 1, Intermediate English 2, Intermediate English 3. Okay? And then that they will have 5 modules and 4 lessons. And every lesson will be 3 hours. Okay? So LPU, as mentioned in that meeting, they'll have 3 courses. So that can be English 1, English 2, English 3, etc. With 4 lessons and then 2.5 hours per lesson. Okay. Okay. So this is what we want. So if this is what we said, we'll say, okay, let's have 3 courses. Everyone said we'll have 3 courses. And so this is a way to do it. You could call it level 1 intermediate, level 2 intermediate, and level 3 intermediate. And then each course will have 5 modules each, and each module will have 4 lessons. Okay, so this is what why it's important to count, is so that we know that B2 has 45 skills, so each course should tackle at least 15 skills, or even better, about 25, so you'll have the courses can overlap and there'll be a bit of a review. So 15 plus, more than 15 skills per course is what we should tackle. Okay, so let's do an example when we're talking about A1, okay? And this is taking a course for complete beginners. And here we're going to choose 15 skills to base the course on. Okay. And then here we're going to talk about so what we're going to do is for course beginners 1, we can go back to the E equals guide here and we can choose 15 skills. So let's choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll choose 15 skills. And then that's that, right? So at least we know that for our course, this course, the first thing to do is choose what are your 15 skills, 20 skills to base the course on. Okay. After that, after I know what skills, we're going to write the 5 modules. So again, this is course number 1. So we're going from here, course number 1. After that, I'll say in this course number 1, I will tackle these 15 skills from the E equals guide. Okay? So that's for the whole course. And then what's next is each course should have 5 modules. So here I can group, I can just divide, say module 1, I'll tackle the 5 skills here. Module 2, I will do 4 skills here. Module 3, I will do 4 skills here. Module 4, I will do 6 skills here. Module 5, I will do 6 skills here, right? So basically, the skills that you've chosen from the list, now you just regroup them into modules. Okay, so I'll just say this is what I'll do in module 1, this is what I'll do in module 2, this is what I'll do in module 3, etc. And then after you've grouped them together in modules, we just give them a name, right? So same thing, the only thing I changed was these were just the CFR skills. After that, I put a name and said, or a theme, right? So it says, okay, module 1, I'll call it Meet My Family, and these are the things I'm gonna tackle. And then module 3, I'm gonna call it Things in My House. These are the things I'm going to tackle, right? So all of the things from the CFR list, and I just think of what are nice themes or things to call the module, and then at least I know these are the things I'm going to do or finish. Okay, and then after that, we want to ensure that we encode our modules and courses in the course template so we can all check progress with each other. Okay, and then here, important in column K to O, that the module name is here. And then we also put what CFR skills from the E equals guide. There's a drop down, just press or type what skill you put for purposes of alignment. And then, just to summarize before we go to the worksheet, that the CFR is quite general. It incorporates over 40 languages. Resource level descriptors are developed for each language, and there are further projects such as the E equals core inventory, which we will be using to create our modules that have what we call the resource level descriptors from englishprofile.org and the core inventory guide to create our modules. So we just have to choose, the different skills, and then we can come up with something like this, right? And this is the expected output for this skill is I'm able to choose 15 CFR skills, group them into a module, and then put a theme. Okay, so that is workshop 1, which is writing a module aligned to the CEFR.